we had a deer butchering class, and we brought a deer and laid it on the ground and took it apart. We help meat eaters and spiritual bros in Austin not have to join 3 different places. You can work here all day. You can do your workout, do sauna, cold plunge. You could take a shower, outdoor shower, and then you could come to the event that night and you'd never have to go home. I think a lot of people, they try to make it so cheap. We're like, oh, we're going to get more people because it's so cheap. You're lowering the value, the perceived value of your brand. And even just around town, you're setting a precedent for low priced events. I don't think that's good.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Gym World Worldwide. I am your host, John Franklin, joined as always with my co-host, Mateo Lopez, who's made his way to the Hamptons, as you can tell by that 1970s bench set in the frame there. We're very excited. We're also very excited because we have a special guest for you this week. We have the man, the myth, the legend, Brian Sanders, who is the top-ranked nutrition podcaster. That's why you can tell by his fancy microphone and backdrop. It's called Peak Human. He is also the owner of Eat Nose to Tail. But the reason we want him on the show is to talk about his gym, Sapien Center, which is in Austin, Texas. He seems to be doing some cool things, and it is not like your traditional gym. So, Brian, welcome, and tell us a little bit about Sapien.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, it's it's hard to explain. It's funny. I actually was just on a call trying to open up another one in Nashville, perhaps, and was telling this lady, my landlord still doesn't know what it is. They still don't know what I have, and they don't know if it's a gym or co-working or a social club or a cult. It's somewhere in between.
To be fair, I just talk to gym owners all day, every day, and I don't know what it is. And I was looking for a while. So, that's why we had you on the pod. This is you can send this pod to every landlord in the future when you open more Sapiens. They can subscribe, and then you don't have to explain it over and over.
I like it. Yeah. So, I'll explain a little more. So it's kind of like the only place you need. You can come into a city, you can come in for the day, and you can work out, you can sauna, you can cold plunge, you can even cook your dinner at this place. And it's kind of a one-stop shop. There, you got it on screen. That's me with a drone shot walking outside. We got the outdoor turf. Unfortunately, I couldn't get any real grass. We're pretty close to downtown Austin. We're probably 1.2 miles away from downtown. So we're kind of in the city. Yet when you're in there, you feel like you're in your own little world. You're in this little oasis. There, we got this video. Yeah, I guess some girl did a little sauna. This is in the colder months. You can see all the steam coming out, and you just walk right out to the gym area. We got, I say, everything you need and nothing more.
Teo, describe to the viewers, what are you seeing here? How would you describe the space for the people listening?
It looks like an updated version of the Tulum gym you saw during lockdown, where everyone went to work out outside. Every Instagram influencer was there with the wooden dumbbells. So it's not quite that, but it's giving. Yeah, it's giving that but it's different because there's some saunas and there's a fire pit, and then a WeWork inside, basically. But looks a little nicer and more comforting because there's some wood accents, there's some green, there's some pop of color, and a little stage. My first question, my main question is: there's a couple outdoor gyms in East Austin, but what I don't understand is how does anyone use or touch the dumbbells or the barbells when it's September and it's like 105 outside? I don't really understand the logistics there. And then in January when it is snowing. So those are my main questions, all about the weather, the climate.
Yeah. Well, I'm learning about the Texas weather more and more. Yeah. It was a hot sunny day, and then all of a sudden there's a rainstorm yesterday. So it works. Yeah. We got a sunshade. So we have a sunshade over that gym area, and I work out at around 6:30 at night. And so it works for me. There's people out there all day during the summer. They're just handling business. I think it's a free sauna. You get a sauna while you work out. But once we got the sunshade up, it does block the sun from actually hitting the metal. You know, you can do pull-ups, you can grab the weights because they're in the little shed, and it's manageable in the summer. And then in the winter, I do a little sauna. You do like a 10-minute sauna, and then you can still go barefoot, no shirt, and do the whole gym outdoor. But the sauna, I mean, it's really easy. Yeah, your body warms up. It feels great.
Okay. If you say so.
The answer is you grind out. You grind through it.
Yeah, it didn't snow. Well, it didn't snow this year at all. It's not even that cold. Austin is not that cold. Anyone who lives on the East Coast or in real cold places, they'll laugh at us. It's you know, it was like 40s. It was fine.
And so the indoor space here, how much space under air do you have in the co-working event space?
That's about 2,200 square feet. Yeah. So here's a video of we had some DJ come in. There's a lot of spiritual stuff going on in Austin. There's a spiritual DJ guy that did like a dance party, like sober dance party. There's guys that did like kind of like a meditation DJ set. We have breath work and sound bath type of things going on. Yeah, it's just a big room.
And are these all people that are renting the space, or are these people that are involved in the community? Like, explain, because it's sold as more of like a club, right? Explain what it is, how many members you kind of like it's built for. How does it work? Because there's more than just the gym out back, right? It seems like
we help blank to blank by blank. I think.
Yeah, who are you looking for? Who are you seeking?
We help meat eaters and spiritual bros in Austin not have to join 3 different places. Now, I've never got my little statement going, but no, I'm telling you, it's a new concept. You can kind of go from dawn to dusk here. It's kind of the idea is that you can work here all day. You can do your workout, do sauna, cold plunge. You could take a shower, outdoor shower, and then you could come to the event that night, and you'd never have to go home. So it's just kind of my dream. I think people ask me, I'm like, why did I do it? I'm like, well, weren't you 12 and wanted to have a clubhouse? You know, it's like, this is like the ultimate clubhouse. It's like a tree house. It's a clubhouse. It's whatever it is. It's a new concept where people can just use the space how they want to. And I hope this gets more popular. You know, you guys are in the gym world and people, you know, go to the gym and that's great, but why not have a little extra space to do all kinds of extra things and have parties and have community?
I will say, that was the part about WeWork I thought was just weird. Like they would have some workout classes, but you kind of had to really like bug them to do it, you know? And I was just like, this is kind of like a missing piece that I just feel like would be pretty easy for you guys to do. My one other comment was just my favorite thing so far about the gym is that the only negative reviews have come from your neighbors who said the rave is just too loud. The rave is going on too late.
We're having too much fun. There it is.
Too loud. Yeah.
On screen, Sapien Sesh. The one you just put on screen, we got in trouble for. It was we have like a kind of bands and stuff, and yeah, we played.
All the 1-star reviews are from angry neighbors.
Angry neighbors.
They just rage so hard. The spiritual bros of Austin, the carnivore spiritual bros, just go too hard. You got the BYOB, bring your own meat to grill. So you have grills in there, right? It seems like food is obviously important to you. You're doing a lot of work in the food space. Like, talk a little bit about that. What does diet have to do with Sapien?
Yeah. Well, Sapien is kind of just a general principle of how we should live. And it's good that people, you know, are out there working out. That's only part of it. The food is a big part of it, which I'll talk about in a second, but also just the whole lifestyle, right? The community, the going outside, right? Like did you guys watch the Blue Zones thing on Netflix by any chance?
Oh yeah.
I wanted to ask you about that, but yes.
So, yeah, I'm kind of the opposite of that guy. No, I'm not a real big fan of Dan Buettner and his Blue Zones idea. Well, he has a lot of things correct in that stuff I just listed, right? People who live a long time, they move and they eat well, they eat whole foods, and they're walking up hills, and they're gardening, and they have a community, right? Then they have a sense of purpose into old age. They're not like stuck in an old age home. They're living with their family members and part of the community. So, but then he leans plant-based, right? Then he kind of pretends.
You're more of a red zone.
I'm the red zone. I'm going to make that. I'm telling you, I'm going to make the red zone documentary someday. I'm making Food Lies right now, which is about food and what to eat. And that's been a long journey. But next is going to be the red zones. And it's going to be about the meat eaters, because I've been to some of these blue zones, and I have a friend that's been to 180 cities. And a lot of them were these blue zones. And these people are eating animal foods left and right? They're eating goats. They're out in Ikaria. They're eating, Ikaria is supposed to be a blue zone. It is not vegetarian. They're eating the entire goat. They're eating the liver. They're eating the organs. They're eating all the fat. They're saving everything, eating it all. They're cooking with animal fat. They're not using, these modern industrial oils. Like, they're eating animal based, but maybe they're eating a lot of fruits and vegetables. Great. Good for them. That's fine. But that's not like the bulk of their diet. It may look like the bulk of their diet on the plate, right? But there's not many calories in a bunch of leaves, right? When you look at the calories, if they're cooking those leaves of spinach in animal fat, then they're actually animal based by calories. So yeah, I'm just in this more animal based world. It's changed my life. That's why I'm making a documentary about it. It's turned into a docu-series, 6-part series. I think it's really important to do all the sides of health and not just focus on working out, or even go beyond the food, right? In the community. So that's why Sapien Center exists. It's to help people discover all of the longevity and health things that go beyond.
So I'm curious. I know you have these other businesses. I know you had a meat company for a while. It looks like you had to like downsize that. I know it was tough doing like kind of the sustainable meat stuff. So now you're doing like, I wouldn't say sustainable gym stuff, but yeah, a more holistic looking gym. Does it make money? How's it going? How are things working for you?
Yeah. So I don't think it's going to make me rich and retire, but it is a sustainable business. I have just one main employee, and he kind of just runs everything. And I am just there, I don't have to do much other than just be there, try to get people there, make events happen. Well, I just had a call today, right, with a woman who wanted to open one in Nashville. So it is a viable business, and we want to help people start more. And I want people to be able to bounce around the country and go to different Sapien centers, and if you're a member, you can hit them all up, and you can find your people. That's right. It's like you can pop into a city and find your people. That's really what it's about, is that community aspect. But the money part, not super easy. Yeah, I don't know how other gyms do, but it's kind of like half of it is members. Half the income is from members, and half of it's from events. So you could also think about it. Well, you could take a normal gym and all they have is the members, but if they had more space, they could say double their revenue with events, because we're doing half and half right now. So I think it's an untapped potential.
So how many members can you tap out at? Because it looks like you said you had 2,200 under air. The backyard probably is what, another 4?
It's more like another 2,500.
Oh, okay. So it's like $5,000 total, half indoor, half outdoor. And you got a couple plunges, you got the sauna, a couple racks, the dumbbells. Like how many people before it's too crowded?
Yeah. I think about 120 to 140 because as everyone knows, it's not like everyone shows up at the same time on the same day. I'd love it to be more crowded, really. I think once we get to that max, we'll know. And then we'll have to figure out what to do from there. But it's about what you can do with your square footage, right? And how can you maximize your square footage? And the way that we can do that is to have the mixed use and just different hours. Like, okay, well, no one's using the weights after at 7 p.m. And then we can start doing events after 7 p.m. Right? It's like using the most time of the week.
The thing I see here is like the people who would be into this would be really into it and probably are there all the time, every day, using the sauna, using the plunge, using the dumbbells, using the co-working space, using all the amenities.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd imagine you have this core group of people who use it a ton. And so I would imagine at that, 100 mark, it would start to feel pretty tight because it's not like a group training gym where you use it for 45 minutes, 3 times a week. I'd imagine your best members or your most engaged members are there, 20 hours a week.
I have a counterpoint to that before I know Brian can just explain it himself. But I also do think this kind of attracts a more nomadic kind of person, right? A free, like I travel around, I live in Australia, I do some stuff. I come into Austin, do some tech work. I'm on my computer, so I'm remote. So I'm like on an internet job and I'm bopping around. So I also see this as like a destination where people are popping in and out.
Everyone here has at least 3 buttons on done. So you know that they've been to Bali at least once.
That's what I'm saying. No. They've been to Bali once this year already. So that would be my other kind of suspicion.
Oh, we definitely have those people. Yeah, we have a member that just is in and out of El Salvador every other week and coming in and out. We have the Bali people. We have the Costa Rica people. So that helps is people aren't always there. Yeah, I think people do definitely come like maybe 3 days a week. Though it's not like they're there all day every day. They'll be in there 3 days a week and they'll be posting up for hours, and it's great. So yeah, I'm not pitching this as the best business plan out there either. So I don't know if your listeners, that they're wanting to start a gym, do start a gym. This is not for everyone. Yeah, like you're bringing up good points. For me, it's the best thing I've ever done. It's the most satisfying, fun thing I've ever done. But like I said, it's not what I'm retiring on, right? I have other businesses that are combined with this, right? There's a lot of synergy where I have the meat business. So we stopped selling the regenerative meat. There's no profit margin on well-raised meat, but we do have body care products, say, made from beef tallow. We have the dried meat, right? So there's other products that we have that we can sell. And yeah, we're working on some other businesses that have a higher profit margin that kind of coexist, right? Or we can have this. This actually turned out to be a kind of like a brand activation place, right? So we've made probably our most money on events from other brands doing a launch party there, or there's South by, right? South by in Austin, sell it out for a lot of money for different brand, like just our buddies, we have their canned drink brands. We always have them around the Sapien Center. We have them in the big fridge. We have a big glass door fridge, right? And we do raw milk. We do all these different drinks. So if you do it correctly with brand partnerships, with events, with, other stuff, you're just not going to rely on your members to make the most money.
Yeah, well, you said the word. You said it's my clubhouse, and so that's why I'm interested in it. I'm curious of people who are building brick and mortar fitness spaces that are more than that, like who are building the next kind of country club, or a clubhouse is another great word for it. That it's more like a true membership instead of a place you go to work out. And so we came from the CrossFit space. That was our background. So much of that is built on community. And I think that's what CrossFit did better than any other big fitness chain. But I think there's so much more you can do now, especially if, your guys like Teo and I who work from home, and you don't talk to many other people aside from the people who live in your immediate house or people over Zoom. So that's why I think this is cool. So you said 120 caps out. Where are you guys right now in terms of your member base?
We're over halfway there. Yeah, it kind of changes between 60 and 80.
And do you find, is churn an issue, or once people buy, they stay for a while?
So, I mean, it's kind of half and half. Like we have our hardcore people. They've been there since day one. I mean, there's people that helped me put together the standing desks and they built the sauna with me. And they're still here. But then, there's people, they come in, come out, they're traveling, they're nomadic, or they just can't afford it. I feel like Austin is an interesting place. There's a lot of people that they don't have normal jobs. They're like, oh, I'm like a men's coach, or I'm a woman's like relationship coach. And they can't even afford a membership, right? Or that they'll try it for a few months and then they're like, I can't afford this. So yeah, there is some problems there.
Well, how much is it? Because I thought I saw on the website, I was like, it didn't seem that.
Oh, it's $179 a month. If you can really use it for what it's made for, right? Co-working and gym and sauna and this, cheap. And it's the cheapest thing of all time.
Yeah.
But if you're just not going to, if you're not going to show up, then yeah, it's an expense.
Yeah. Right.
Like 23-year-old me would have the Sapien membership, but I would juice that thing. I would be there all day, every day.
You'd be like taking our paper towels and stuff. No.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna get my money's worth on dirtying your grills. All right. So the next thing, the events are a huge part of your business. I was just shocked at the sheer number that you have going on. If you look at the event calendar, it's like there is shit going on every single day. Mm-hmm. So are you in charge of that? Is your full-time guy in charge of that? Like, do you cherry pick people from the community to run some of these things? Do people reach out to you? Like how does this happen where you're just throwing stuff every day?
It's a combo. Yeah. I do a lot of my own events and have to lead some of that. But then my guy, we're on peerspace.com. If you've heard of that, just, you can find venues for rent.
Yeah.
So we get inquiries, right? So that's always good. Peerspace. It's just known around town by now, right? The Instagram is huge. I don't know if this would be possible without Instagram, right? That so many things are opening up because of Instagram these days where it's very rare that I find someone who hasn't heard of Sapien Center in Austin. They're like, oh yeah, I've seen on Instagram. It looks crazy because everyone's just posting stories about us. So even if they haven't been there, they've heard of it. So then people will always just hit us up to have events. Anything. Like we had a comedy show. We had 110 people inside, which is way too many people. It was like every square inch of the place. But we had big comedians there from, the Comedy Mothership here came over, like super fun. And then we had like everything. People rented out for their birthdays. We had a deer butchering class and we brought a deer and laid it on the ground and took it apart like to nothing. And so people just pitch. I always tell people, just pitch me your event idea and then we can partner with them. So it's like either we do the whole event ourselves, they do the entire event themselves and just rent it out, right? Just straight up, just pay us, or the in between where we just partner. And so we've done that a lot where, up and coming comedian guys, like, can I get together like 7 guys and we'll do a comedy show? But I don't have, I can't just put down all the money for it. And we said, sure. Yeah. We'll just split the ticket sales and then we help them promote it. They promote it. It just works.
It also looks like you're using it as a place for other people in fitness to meet each other. So it looks like you got a meetup coming up in August here that over 100 people are registered for, where it's like, this is personal trainers, healthcare, fitness, wellness, different entrepreneurs. Like, are you working with other groups or is this a specific kind of like clientele you're trying to drag to the space?
Yeah, this one, we have one on Thursday. Yeah, this Thursday, this is Corey. Yeah, it's just every month we have new opportunities and new people that we know wanting to do stuff. So Corey's been doing events with us the whole time we're open because I've just known him around town and he has his own health and fitness entrepreneur group. And that's been huge for us. So this is actually the only event that we don't charge for. This is the only event. I have a policy, no free events, right? I'm just like, you cannot do free events at Sapien Center, even if you're my friend. And this one, since it's only once a month and he moves them around town to different gyms and cool locations, we let him do it for free because it's so fun and we get so much out of it. And I always do an announcement. He gets me on stage and I tell everyone what Sapien Center is and we end up getting members from his event. And so, yeah, it's always just finding the like mutually beneficial things, like leveraging other people's networks, like win-win situations. Yeah.
Yeah, this would definitely be your clientele, your target market here. I could see how that would lead to some members.
How do you figure out price for tickets for certain events?
Tickets. Oh man. Yeah. That's a hard one too. Cause
and then for members, do they have discounts?
Like, yeah. So members get discounts. So I always kind of just like build in the price. Like what is the price for the space? What is the price for the food? You kind of do the math. And then I just take away the price for the space from the members, right? Cause they've already paid for the space. So I kind of do stuff like that. For the events, it's hard to find the right price point because I think a lot of people in Austin, there's a lot of opportunities. Not everyone has normal jobs. They're kind of making their own way. And there's a lot of competition, right? So you have to get the right price point or they're just not going to show up. So we've played with different models where maybe the event's free to come, but then you have to buy the food once you're there, right? That's an example because we've tried, we had this event and then not that many people came. We're like, maybe the price is too high. But then once they're there, they're like, oh, I do want the food, And you got to also have another friend that throws events with us. He's kind of one of our partner people and has his own brand. And he's doing events for like $20 around town and trying to do $20 events at our place with food. And I'm telling him, you can't undersell this. I think a lot of people, they try to make it so cheap. We're like, oh, we're going to get more people because it's so cheap. Like, well, actually you're just lowering the value of the event. You're lowering the value, the perceived value of your brand, I think. And even just around town, you're setting a precedent for low priced events. And I don't think that's good. Like people have to pay that. Like we have like $35 events is a good price for us. And people pay it and they show up and they respect it. And they know this is a great space. They have fun, right? If you give them a bad experience, then they're not going to come back. But we just had the 4th of July event. It was $30, $45 level as well. And, we had a lot of people. It was great.
So what crushes? Like plenty of people listening want to throw more events in their gym. They want to get people there. They would love a situation where people would come in and have potential prospects and future members in the gym. Of the stuff you have done, what are things that your average gym owner could steal for their gym that have worked well for you?
Yeah, let's see. I mean, do they have space? I'm not.
Let's assume they have some space.
They have space. Yeah. Themed parties. You need to plan ahead for the big events of the year, right? There's all these 4th of July is one I just mentioned, Halloween, right? It's kind of obvious to do that, but then some people I think are scared to throw events because they think there's competition or there's other people doing events. There's another social club that was down the street that would have a big Halloween party, but we did it anyway and it worked. So it's like, don't be scared to do events on the big days. And then those are the most fun with a theme, right? And just get everyone, just spend a little bit on some decorations or like have the food. And yeah, those have always ended up really fun for us. And yeah, just adding, I don't know, music, like just more dimensions, right? Like we have all of our parties usually have the food and some sort of music or live band and sort of a theme. And it's just like it's a whole thing, right? You just got to go all out and make it fun. And then I think our bad part of what we've learned is if you just do smaller, like half-ass type parties, it doesn't serve you. You're like, oh, well, let's not make a big production or we're going to save money by not, then it's just, people have an okay time and then it's not serving you.
Hey, gym owners, are you looking for a way to generate more leads, close more sales, and increase client retention? Introducing Kilo. We are a software company that gives gym owners the tools they need to increase revenue and run a successful gym. With Kilo, you get a beautifully designed website to capture more leads, an integrated marketing automation platform to increase sales, and our gym management software so you can add new client memberships, process payments, and organize your class schedule. If you're ready to upgrade your gym management software, book a call at usekilo.com. So I want to go back to the other thing you mentioned, how this wouldn't be possible without Instagram. Did you, and something else that John has mentioned on our show before is like, if we could go back in time and back in our gyms, we would have invested more in the space, in the aesthetics, in the vibe. And your space is beautiful. It's awesome. It's very cool. And it is very like Instagrammable, if you will. Did you hire a designer for the space? How did you find that person? What did it cost? If you didn't, how did you dream it up? What would be the things that you kind of thought about when designing the space and making it look good in pictures?
Yeah, it's super important part. And I did it myself. Yeah, I kind of have a background in some of this stuff. Both my parents had architecture degrees, so I kind of laid out the space and before, and we built it. And I made this plant wall. Like I had this idea to have like the bench inside. We have built in those type of seats like in a restaurant, like
it's
a bench
the first
seat.
picture, John, on his Google business profile.
And so we built that from scratch. So bench seating with a planter on the top. And we have these big snake plants and cool plants. So I don't know. I probably just saw that at a restaurant and copied it. But having a lot of plants was huge, right? This is supposed to be like nature, indoor, outdoor space. And so a lot of wood, right? I used a lot of wood and a lot of green, like the whole building is green. Yeah, there's the photo. So you can see that's a custom bench seating. There's plants at the top. I have green cushions that I found, right? So I found those, on Amazon and ordered the green cushions. I made those tables myself. Actually, that was one of the few things I actually, we're building myself out of wood. I went on Craigslist and found the bases, right? So there's these metal table bases. I built the top pieces with the wood, and then I found some green chairs, right? It was like a whole journey. Yeah, those are the two big rolling tables. That was a huge one. It's getting these rolling tables. So you want to have flexible space, right? And so I started by finding these giant rolling wheels, these caster wheels. And then I had my construction guy, I gave him the design for these big, big tables that are, tall height, right? We have the tall chairs, and we move those everywhere. We use them in all different configurations. It's been the best thing of all time, getting them out of the way or putting them together into a giant square. And we have mastermind dinners. Just do it. Just having the flexibility to roll those tables around was huge. And yeah, I don't know. I didn't spend that much on the design. Like I did a lot of it myself. Like I did some of my own artwork that you can't see in this one, but just plants, and even going to kind of like going Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, Craigslist, you can get a lot of stuff. Like we're doing that now, getting pots, like you can get plants in pots on those places for way less. I've been going to Goodwill even, I go to Goodwill, Salvation Army, whatever, find random stuff.
Yeah, look at the dumbbell. Your bottom row of dumbbells is different than the top row. Yeah, we got some signs of scrappiness here.
Yeah, the bottom. Well, I needed a 75. I'm like, we got to go up to 75, and some of the sets didn't have it. So yeah.
So what did it cost to build this place out?
So I raised $120,000 around town. And so that was my idea, is to kind of get some people around town that were into this. Like they got to be kind of the founders, right? They're like, it's even good for them. They're like, hey, I'm part of this club. This is this gym. Like I'm a investor. And I think that was barely enough money. I think probably like 150. We could have done it with 150, 160. I ended up, putting some of my own money, like scraping some other money together. But I thought I was going to buy originally, and then I realized renting was way better. All right. So it took me a year and a half to find this space, actually, from when I first started looking to when I actually got it. And yeah, we did a lot. The landlord gave us $40K to put into it. So I fixed up the building. The money had to go towards the building, not obviously our equipment. So, You can find a lot of TI, the tenant improvement, right, from the landlord. And then just, it wasn't that much, really. Just a lot of people. It's a community project. I don't know if that's typical for other gyms, right? If people want to be, have friends come over and build it with them. But that's what we did.
Certainly there's like part of that, like you'll have founding members help you or friends help you build the plyo boxes or whatever. But so are these people actually invested, or was it like a loan that you paid back to these people?
Yeah. So we had an idea that we would start paying back the loan after 2 years. So we're getting there soon. So now we're starting to figure that out. But even so, like I was talking to the lady today, you could probably pre-sell lifetime memberships for say $5,000 if it's the right model, right? It's more than just a gym. Like this is your community space. You could say, hey, lifetime membership, $5,000, not an investment. Like you don't get the money back, but you are sort of on the board. You're a founder, you get lifetime membership. And I think it would be worth it for people because when it adds up, that's not that much per year.
So we talked to Curtis Christofferson, who owns a series of gyms, and he said one of the largest member activations that he did, and kind of this, one of the things that I thought was unique about his gym was he would do these like epic trips with his members. Go like, oh, we're going to get a group of people, we're going to go hike Mount Everest. And it turned into this like vacation club inside of his gym. I see you have a island retreat coming up called the Back to Human Island Retreat. Can you tell me what you got going on there?
Yeah. Oh, we actually postponed this. This might probably be in the winter time, which is a better time to go to Panama. That's so I said before, Sapien is kind of a lifestyle, right? It's a holistic thing that's beyond the gym and beyond the food. And so we'll probably do one in the fall for just at a ranch here in Texas. This one's in Panama. Like this is a big part of the Sapien movement. We're even calling it is doing things together. Like having real friends. Like for all of history, we had a tribe, right? Like we were around fires. We were together. We have a fire pit. You traveled around with your group, and life was great and meaningful. And back to the Blue Zones, I think that's why they live so long too. A big part of that was community. So yes, a big part of it is what we're going to do more of is doing these trips and just getting to know each other even better. Like these are the people that help you move, right? I just helped someone move. Me and 2 members helped a old member. She's not even a member anymore, right? But this is like our family, and we helped her move. So doing the trips, doing more than just the normal stuff is huge. Actually, my brother did CrossFit. He probably influenced me on this idea too years ago, because he would tell me how it was his community, right? And they would go out and do stuff together outside of the CrossFit. But it didn't sound like they had enough space to do things there, right? So this ended up being like piecemealed, which is still fine. But the like offsite stuff is going to be big for us.
And so what is it? You're just renting out a resort and you're going to try and get 10 people down there or something like that? What's the goal for the event?
Well, that's actually, I just met the guy that kind of his family is part of that island. So he offered, and we're trying to get 30 people, but there's a ranch here in Texas, and I know the woman, and it's somewhere between like 20 and 30 people is a good number. And you can actually make money on it too, right? Like people will just pay. It depends on your model. Like, are you doing it just for the members, and is it just like a fun little thing? Or for me, because I have more international audience through my podcast and my Instagram, it can just be anyone from around the world can come in and do this retreat for a higher price. We can actually, survive, make some money on this as a business. So actually, as long as we're talking about business plans, you were asking about, maxing out at a certain number of members, right? And I'm thinking about like, what is the square footage of this? You kind of max out on a square footage basis. There's only so many hours in a day. right? And there's just only so many square feet you have. So part of our idea is to do a worldwide model. It's like this Sapien movement is bigger than just the members in Austin. And so if we have these people who live this lifestyle, who are interested in this stuff, they can come in each month and be a part of an event. And we can have an open event so that anyone who's part of the Sapien movement can come to the headquarters, say whenever they want, right? For like day passes or drop-ins, but also for the monthly Meet Worldwide event. And then right? So that's a way to monetize beyond the square footage, because we can have the monthly recurring revenue from the members and do online stuff, right? Like you can have like, there's these little private communities popping up, right? The different platforms, private communities, even just using Slack or Discord, talking with the member, organizing the retreats that could happen a couple times a year, having the big party each month, right? And then allowing drop-ins. So I kind of think this is something people are going to do more of in the future. I think community is the future. Other people have told me this stuff too. Since COVID, that community is so important, and it's going to go beyond just having a gym. It's going to turn into like a community center, and like there will be more stuff where people are like members. And I've seen it too. Have you seen like the Bali time chamber thing?
No, but I need to look right now.
Look up Bali Time Chamber. They have all these Instagram reels, and they have like the AI narration voice, and it's like this whole thing about people. I think it's men only, and they decked out like this gym / co-working thing in Bali that like really well done, and it seems like it's a big thing. There you go.
This looks.
Bali,
I can already feel some cultiness going on right here. The yin and yang.
Definitely a lot of beaded necklaces and beads and bracelets and leather straps. Yeah.
So this is Oh yeah. Okay. So here we go. We have some next generation men right here. So you go and vacation here, or this is like a gym situation?
It's hard to say. It's kind of like the Sapien Center, where it's hard to explain, and I think it's more for those nomads you mentioned earlier, these people that will go there for a month and they'll spend time together, and it's almost like a retreat, but like a permanent retreat that's always there, and then you could come in and out.
First and only experience like this in the world. Secret location, gym, recovery center, direct access to waterfalls, high quality food, like-minded men.
It's quite a concept.
We're going to have to look deeper into
shots of that guy.
And so now that you've done it, you've built it, you're 2 years in, you got some people knocking on your doors, interested in open up a next one. What would you do different if you had to restart?
Probably have more money to do it. I think 120K was barely enough, right? We barely figured it out. We got some free rent from the landlord for a while. So people, capitalize correctly. I don't know. Do people usually get gym loans to do things? Like, how does that work?
Depends. It's a mixed bag, but yeah, a lot of the ones that end up doing well invest pretty heavily.
Properly capitalize, and then you're not going to be at Goodwill trying to get little things here and there, but or it works. It's part of the fun.
I was kind of into that part of it.
It is great. Because you don't want to go to some real corporate thing, right? WeWork is kind of failing because it's just this real corporate thing, and they have just like fake little plants and fake everything, and everything's polished, and that's not what people want. So. No, I mean, everything's going fine. Like, everything's great. It's fun. I don't have that many regrets other than just having full capitalization from the beginning so that we could just do proper everything from the beginning.
Would you keep the size the same? Is 5,000 square feet seem like the right amount, or?
It's hard. Austin rent is expensive. Right. So it's kind of hard, because if we were too big, I don't know if we would have been able to fill it up, and maybe we'd be screwed on the rent. You you got to find that balance of like, what can we do as a startup kind of thing? Because we still think, well, yeah, we can outgrow the space and then we'll just get a bigger space.
Do you think a lot of the initial like traction, the member, you have a pretty decent, I think you have 350,000 followers on Instagram. How much of that traction came from your personal brand, or how much of it came from, events and just pounding the pavement?
It is both, but that definitely helps. So I'm talking to other people in the Tampa, St. Pete's area, in Florida, maybe in Denver, for doing a Sapien Center. And I'm telling them, like, are you a community organizer? Like, do you have an audience? Like, what do you have going for you? Because it really does help. Like, it's a lot of it. Like, yes, you can pound the pavement, and yes, you can just have events and network, but you have to be constantly doing that. Like, I'm like getting members one by one. Like, I'm out there talking to people, meeting people, getting their number, saying, come to Sapien, we'll do a sauna. And then that's how we get members.
Yeah. What is the intro process? What is the sales process? If I'm trying to sign up, if I find you on Instagram and I call the gym, what is the flow? How do you sign me up?
Yeah, well, we just ask you down for a day pass. So pretty much we just give a lot of day passes away and let people come and check it out. And then we schedule it. So this is my main guy, Sean, just does it, gives them a tour. And then hopefully you have people around too, right? It's like there's times of the day maybe where there's just no one there. There very well could be no one there. And then that's just not a good experience when they come in. But if things go correctly and there's people there and a new person pops in, that's the magic right there. Because our members are great and they see a new person and they're like, hey, what's up, man? Like, come on in. They're giving tours, they're hanging out. Like, that's huge. Back to the my following. Yeah, I mean, having an Instagram following helps, but it's also just not magic. It's not that I can just like, oh man, this guy has a lot of followers. Like, you can just do whatever you want. Most of them are not in Austin, for one thing. But no, it does help. I mean, I post stuff in my story, and then I always ask people how they heard about the van or, what's going on. And a lot of them, they're like, oh yeah, I just saw it in your story. Or yeah, I was like, a lot of our members, the first members, they just listened to my podcast, right? So it does help to have that presence to get like a foundation and a base, but you're always going to be getting people the old fashioned way as well.
Pounding the pavement. You heard it here first. Even with 350,000 Instagram followers, you're still out there trying to get the next generation of men into your ice bath.
One by one, I'm telling you. No, we have a fair amount of women too. Also, it's hard to not just become like a men's club type of thing. But like nowadays, we have a lot of great women, and yeah, they just, it's just Instagram too, right? Just us posting or other people posting about our events.
Well, we're butting up on time here. Brian, where do people go if they want to learn more about you, the different projects you got going on, and the center?
Yeah. My account is Food Lies. Just search Food Lies anywhere. That's a documentary I'm making. That's my main account. And then Instagram Sapien Center would be where to go to check that out.
And when's the documentary coming out?
I don't know. I actually got an email today from a guy that probably will fund us finishing it. So it's a long, slow process. No one wants to pay for it. We're going against big food, big pharma. We're going against all these big systems. And I don't know if Netflix even wants this thing. It is Netflix quality though. It takes a long time to get something really well done, right? There's been a lot of random food health documentaries that have been made and no one watched them. And I just don't want that to happen. Like, we're going all out. It's very high quality. And it's going to be a while though, because we only have one episode fully done.
Is the goal to make like a full series?
There's 6, dude. It's going to be 6 parts, bro.
6 parts. Yeah. We're working on episode 6 right now. We've done 1. So we're also doing, it's going to explain the whole thing, right? It's going to debunk the blue zone stuff. It's going to debunk the vegan stuff. It's going to just tell people how to eat. It's pretty simple, right? I think most CrossFit type gym people, they've kind of figured it out more than the rest. They're like, yeah, I eat eggs and meat and, whatever else and other whole foods, ideally, whole foods on the side of that. But the CrossFit crowd is not the vegan crowd, I don't think.
So you heard it here. If you hate vegans, if you hate blue zones, go hit up Ryan, give him some money so we can take the blue zone guy down. Start the red zone movement. Open your own Sapien Center.
I like it.
That is it, Gym World. Thank you so much for listening. It is tough finding exclusive meat-based membership clubs to come on the pod and give you all the insider secrets so you can make these decisions about yourself. If you got some value, be sure to like and subscribe and share with a gym owner in need. Until next week, we love you.